People are gonna see me everywhere. So if you don't like me, I'm sorry.
Hey guys, welcome to Shhhcrets, where we dive into the real, raw, and sometimes uncomfortable truths. Constructively, of course. Today, we're tackling a big question. Is Tyla, one of the freshest faces in music, already on the verge of getting canceled? Yep, canceled. I know, it sounds extreme given she's barely just got here, but trust me, there's plenty to unpack. Tyla's rise has been anything but smooth, and in today's episode, we're going to break down why people are seriously not feeling her vibe right now. But hey, if you like my content and are feeling my vibe, be sure to subscribe. In this episode, we'll dig into why Tyla's rapid rise is causing some serious backlash, from that VMAs moment to being labeled uppity. We'll touch on her controversial comments, interviews, and how comparisons to Rihanna are rubbing people the wrong way. Stick around to see if Tyla can turn things around or if she's on the fast track to cancellation. Let's start with her rise. Tyla's been collecting awards faster than artists who've been around for years. A Grammy, a BET award, a Billboard award, and most recently, a VMA. All within her first year. You'd think people would be celebrating that, right? But nope, instead of focusing on her talent, the conversation has shifted to her controversies. And the one that's been making the rounds, her VMAs moment. Now, Tyla won Best Afrobeat Video for her hit single Water at the VMAs. But during her acceptance speech, she asked Lil Nas X and Halle Bailey to hold her Moon Man trophy because, as she put it was too heavy.
You guys know me and holding awards. I'm not strong enough. Please. Are you able to offer me? Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
What might have been a lighthearted joke quickly spiraled into a huge backlash. Social media lit up with people saying things like, "I don't like Tyla," and "she's so unlikable." Even YouTuber Armand Wiggins chimed in, saying Tyla comes off as entitled and doesn't seem to understand American culture at all, dubbing her uppity African. Ouch, right? Now, let's talk about that uppity label because it's not just a random insult, it's loaded. Calling a black person uppity has deep racial implications, dating all the way back to the Jim Crow era. It was used to tear down anyone who dared to be confident, assertive, or successful. So when people started using it to describe Tyla, it struck a nerve, especially considering she's from South Africa, a country with its own painful racial history. But here's the tricky part. While the word is offensive, Tyla does give off an air of entitlement, and that's influencing how people perceive her. She's entering a new market, but coming off with a vibe that's not landing well, and it's definitely showing. The VMAs moment was just one part of the puzzle. Tyla's issues started way before that, and one key moment was when she posted a TikTok video a few years back, proudly celebrating her South African heritage and calling herself colored. Now, in South Africa, colored is a term for people of mixed race, but in the US, it carries a whole different painful history tied to segregation and racism. So, when that video resurfaced in 2023, as Tyla's star was rising, people were quick to call her out for using a word that's considered offensive here. This is where Tyla and her team could have handled things better. A bit of media training could have saved her a lot of heat. All it would have taken was a quick statement explaining the difference. In South Africa, I'm identified as colored, which refers to mixed race people. But in America, I understand I'm considered black. Boom, problem solved. But instead, her team stayed quiet and the backlash continued to build. People started wondering if she even understood the weight of the words she was using. Things got even messier during her Breakfast Club interview. Charlamagne directly asked Tyla to explain the colored controversy, and instead of addressing it, she deferred the question to her publicist.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
Total cringe. To make matters worse, her team had already asked the show not to bring up certain topics, like her racial identity or comparisons to Rihanna. Now, let's be real. This was her chance to clear things up and maybe win back some of the critics. But by dodging the question, Tyla came across as evasive and out of touch, which only fed into the uppity narrative. If she wants to make it in the US, she's going to have to tackle these tough questions head on, not skirt around them. And speaking of Rihanna, oh boy, in an interview, Tyla mentioned that she aspired to be as big as Rihanna or even bigger.
I look up to Rihanna. She's done an amazing job, and I hope to one day be on that level and even bigger, you know?
Oh yes.
Because I really believe.
Confidence is great, but that comparison, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Fans were quick to say, "Girl, pump the brakes." Rihanna didn't come in with that level of confidence until years into her career after she'd earned her stripes. For Tyla to come in so bold, comparing herself to a global icon like Rihanna felt like she was skipping a few steps. How do I feel about it? Honestly, I'm neutral. Could Tyla become the next Rihanna? Sure, anything's possible. But she needs to slow down and let her work speak for itself instead of making bold claims that rub people the wrong way. Confidence is one thing, but when it borders on arrogance, especially when you're just starting out, it's not going to go over well. Now, let's talk about confidence versus arrogance, because there's a fine line. Many of Tyla's South African fans have rushed to her defense, saying her confidence is just part of her culture. And I get that. Africans and people from the Caribbean tend to exude pride and confidence. But there's a difference between being confident and being unaware of the cultural norms in the country you're trying to break into. In America, especially for someone new to the scene, humility goes a long way. People want to see that you're relatable, that you're not just here to collect awards and dip. And right now, Tyla's not exactly giving off relatable vibes. Then there's the whole genre controversy. At the VMAs, Tyla accepted the award for Best Afrobeat Video, but here's the kicker. She doesn't even make Afrobeats. Her sound is amapiano, a South African genre, not Afrobeat.
Because I know there's a tendency to group all African artists under Afrobeat. African music is so diverse. It's more than just Afrobeat. I come from South Africa. I represent amapiano.
Naturally, Afrobeats fans, especially Nigerians, weren't too happy about that. Artists like Burna Boy, Tems, Ayra Starr, and Rima have spent years bringing Afrobeats into the global spotlight, only to see someone who doesn't even represent the genre get recognized. One fan even said, if Tyla's not making Afrobeats, she should have turned down the award. And honestly, I get it. Imagine Burna Boy winning a hip-hop award and saying, I'm not even a hip-hop artist. It's confusing and feels disrespectful to the fans who've been supporting Afrobeats from the beginning. To make things even stickier, some people are pointing out that Tyla's lighter skin might be a reason she's being pushed so hard, especially in a genre that's filled with talented, darker-skinned artists who've had to work twice as hard to get where they are. Add that to her uppity vibe, and it really fuels the idea that she's benefiting from an industry that rewards proximity to whiteness, whether intentionally or not. This has got people questioning her rapid rise and whether she's really earned the spotlight she's been given. So, is Tyla getting canceled? Not quite yet, but she's definitely walking a fine line. There's no doubt she's talented. She's got the voice, the stage presence, and the awards to prove it. But the question is Does she have the cultural awareness to navigate the tricky landscape she's trying to break into? If she's serious about making it in the American market, she'll need to be more mindful of cultural sensitivities and show some humility. It's not just about being bold and confident. It's about knowing when to step back, listen, and adapt. What do you guys think? Is Tyla heading for cancellation, or do you think she can turn things around? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're feeling my vibe. Until next time, keep your secrets close and your vibes positive. Bye.